I'm just shocked at how many lies were told. Hey, Candace, you should check out the metadata from the New York Times big publication.
People were sort of just noticing that Blake Lively was not the nicest person.
On February 16th, 2025, Candace Owens made new claims exposing Blake Lively's dirty behavior, which led to a complete meltdown in front of Hollywood and the court.
All right, guys, we are in the midst of some crazy PR games right now coming from Blake Lively's side.
Owens shared questionable images of HR complaints and receipts on her Instagram, fueling Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively's court suits. I'm just shocked at how many lies were told. A lot of new names such as Jenny Slate and Isabel Ferrer are included in this dispute that is leading to the ultimate dismay of the Hollywood queen. Blake Lively Hollywood has long been known for its heavy use of PR strategies to manage scandals, build narratives, and protect public image. Celebrities root in L use publicists, media outlets, and social media to influence their brand.
I'm just shocked at how many lies were told.
For instance, Lively has been quite deliberate in curating her image. As a wholesome, family-oriented actress, she often posts about her kids, her relationship with Ryan Reynolds, and her business ventures, showcasing a perfect blend of career and family.
And Ryan and Blake are still very powerful people in Hollywood.
Now think about the fact that when PR stunts go awry, they often use someone or something as a distraction. In this case, Blake created a narrative where Bolden's name would drag through the mud, tarnishing his reputation. A PR strategy was working fine as a lot of prominent Hollywood names, including Taylor Swift, were on her side. But Candace Owens ruined her whole struggle with some receipts and metadata.
This is a PR tactic to try and sway the public, and I think these are deliberately being leaked to us creators so that we can run with.
Owens' investigation into Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' supposed hidden agenda is one of those moments where you can practically feel the aha moment drip out of every word.
Essentially, I walked you through the New York Times metadata and showed you that this woman had posted on X and essentially just like blared it out to the world.
This is Owens' Instagram video that she published on February 16th, 2025, and oh boy, this revealed how desperate Lively, Ryan, and their PR team are getting to take down Baloney. They are shopping, meaning using tons of money to shape the narrative of their infamous lawsuit.
So I became aware a couple of weeks ago that somebody in Blake Lively's camp was shopping around what they claimed to be HR complaints to various tabloids and publications, namely TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post.
OWS paints Blake and Ryan as Machiavellian masterminds plotting and scheming in the background like some sort of over-the-top Hollywood villain. According to Owens, their public personas are nothing but a front to distract us from their true goal, taking down Justin Baldoni. I mean, really, does it get any more dramatic than this?
And these HR complaints saying these were real and these were ignored, all painting Justin Baldoni to be a monster, okay?
This proves how much Lively and Ryan are alone in this journey. Previously, at the beginning of their lawsuit, Lively used the New York Times to shape the narrative and get the sympathies of Hollywood and the media. She filed a complaint against Baldoni on the 20th of December, 2024, and asked the New York Times to publish an article about her on the 21st of December. They shared the detailed report casting Lively as the tragic heroine of yet another Hollywood sob story, this time claiming she was a victim of sexual harassment.
Interestingly enough, all of these publications, which are known to just like publish whatever, they publish things about me that are completely untrue, they don't care about defamation or anything like that, all declined to publish this.
This timing of the New York Times article in her lawsuit was not a coincidence. Candace Owens proved it in one of her videos. Lively used some money to convince the New York Times to write a sob story about her and initiating the Me Too movement that led feminists and Hollywood actresses to boycott Baldoni.
She claimed all of these people acted in bad faith and conspired to damage her career after she raised concerns about what Baldoni was allegedly doing on that set.
This article contains a lot of accusations against Baldoni. Lively claimed she was sexually harassed during the shooting of It Ends With Us, along with getting fat shamed by Baldoni. He made her uncomfortable on the set of this movie.
So Thursday, for the finale, we did, essentially, I walked you through the New York Times metadata and showed you that this woman had posted on X and essentially just like blared it out to the world.
When Bolden's lawyer Brian Fredman took these allegations to the court, he claimed there's a difference between sexual harassment and sexual assault and expressed doubt about whether Lively's allegations reached the legal threshold of assault, as none of her claims seemed to match that definition. There was no evidence of physical sexual assault on the set of the movie.
I mean, we've just, been through the Me Too movement. We've heard all sorts of serious allegations of sexual harassment.
On top of these weak claims, Candace Owens took her sweet time in extracting metadata from the New York Times' website, and it completely flipped Lively's melodramatic sob story into a case study on dishonesty and behind-the-scenes manipulation. How unfortunate for Lively.
Blake Lively, if she was sexually harassed to such a degree in this film and in this situation, she wouldn't have returned to the film.
Brian Fredman has used this metadata and timeline in his lawsuit, and to the ultimate dismay of Lively, the court has accepted.
He even says we now have a concrete timeline, which we believe implicates Blake Lively. And I mean, come on. I was the psycho who put together the timeline.
In this whole grind, the poor, or I must say evil, New York Times suffered Justin Baldoni has filed a lawsuit of defamation in the New York Times claiming $250 million in it after seeing the ruined reputation of the Times. And it's getting part of a lawsuit. It is natural that all other media outlets feel hesitant about the so-called sob story of the evil Hollywood queen.
You guys have been sending me those tips, tagging me and stuff, and I've just been presenting it to the public and putting together a timeline to pull things together. I think he will eventually subpoena Taylor Swift. But here's what's even greater. On Monday, they're going to court.
So what do Lively and Ryan do here? They turn to influencers and TikTokers to shape their narratives.
Main reasons being that these complaints coming in were heavily redacted. And yet when they reached out to the person that was shopping them and was like, hey, we have some basic questions about this. Why are you blacking out the dates? Why are you blacking out the complainant?
They have sold their HR complaints to so-called influencers and TikTokers who have distributed 3 disturbing HR complaints across the internet. The HR complaints lodged against Justin Baldoni, as described by Blake Lively, are troubling on the surface, yet they raise more questions than answers when you examine the details at the heart of this issue. Is the nature of these complaints, the timing of their emergence, and how crucial information has been mysteriously redacted.
So you start leaking to TikTokers, independent journalists, because you view these people to be stupid, right? So you're like, okay, they'll absorb the risk. They'll definitely publish this if they think that they have an exclusive.
The official complaints themselves are said to center around Bolden's inappropriate behavior during production of It Ends With Us.
They got a little iffy on the details, and they didn't want to take the risk for potentially being sued for defamation without being able to legitimately confirm that these were real complaints.
However, when you dig into the details, it becomes clear that the actual nature of the allegations is not fully disclosed. Some information has been redacted or left vague, making it difficult to assess whether these complaints are rooted in truth or exaggerated claims.
Summary of complaint. Complainant is clearly traumatized in her verbal account of incident. Director Justin Baldoni approached complainant and asked her to speak privately. He asks complainant if she has ever had an orgasm on camera.
In this video, you can clearly see how Lively has blackened a lot of information and dates, making this HR complaint vague. An unrealistic Candace Owens claimed that this blackened information is the major reason these HR complaints are highly unreliable.
She asks why this is necessary to know since a climax is not scripted in the scene. Baldoni then leans close to complainant's face and whispered, I think we should go ahead and add it in. Show me what you got.
If you're going to fabricate or at the very least exaggerate a scandal, at least try to make it believable. The complaints against Justin Baldoni read like they were drafted by an overly dramatic screenwriter attempting to spice up a courtroom drama.
Complainant told Baldoni she did not want to do the scene. He told her she couldn't hold up filming by refusing. Complainant began improvising the scene, making what she perceived to be noises of a sexual nature.
His breath missed at her face, really. That's a kind of poetic nonsense one expects in a bad romance novel, not an official complaint. If this is a level of detail we're taking seriously, then I assume every heavy-breathing actor in Hollywood should be expecting an HR visit soon.
Baldoni's face was so close to complainant's that she could feel his breath, causing her face to mist up.
Along with this exaggerated claim, there's another one regarding the intimate embrace and the additional sexual climax scene claims that add nothing but spice to the courtroom drama.
Complainant states he was so close to her for so long, his breath on her face necessitated her makeup needing to be redone.
So what is the whole background story of these HR complaints? Well, Brian Fredman discussed a possible lack of official HR complaints against Baldoni despite some claims of sexual harassment. This lack of complaint against him proves his innocence. To fix this problem, Lively went around to buy some HR complaints against Baldoni in an attempt to weaken his lawsuit and ruin his career. At last, she succeeded in getting 3 complaints against him. These HR complaints are filed with Sony, which according to Candace is a shock everyone is discussing and trying to make sense of how Sony got into this whole drama. Why were the Wayfair complaints registered with Sony? It seems like it is another power game of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Complainant began improvising the scene, making what she perceived to be noises of a sexual nature. Baldoni placed either of his hands on complainant's outer thighs and stated, "Come on, you can do better than that."
There are assumptions that these HR complaints are from 3 women, Lively, Jenny, and Isabella.
By the New York Times, you've got Wayfarer, you have Jamie Heath, you've got Justin Baldoni, Steve Sarowitz, even Jennifer Abel, Jed Wallace down in Texas, but nope. No Sony, which is so weird.
Oh, but don't you just love how the whole 3 women theory got thrown out there? Suddenly we're all supposed to believe that 3 actresses were about to make their allegations against Justin Baldoni, and the entire internet had no idea who the 3rd one might be. There are only assumptions that the 3rd one is Isabella, but hey, let's just throw that theory out there and watch people jump to conclusions. Why not spread confusion, right? That's so much fun for everyone involved. Here's an oddity: why wasn't Sony named in the lawsuit? Blake actually filed HR complaints.
So now we have one that we believe is Blake Lively, a second one that we believe is Jenny Slate, and this 3rd one we believe is Isabella.
Could it be that Sony's name got conveniently left out of the whole mess to avoid complicating things?
Justin Baldoni just literally grabbed my ass in front of the camera. I want to talk to someone at Sony like now.
How is it possible that 3 women filed HR complaints against a man on the same date as Sony, and it doesn't do anything? This lack of action proves that Sony disregards a HR complaint as an attention-seeking action, and nothing serious now here despite being angry with Sony. Blake and the other 2 women decided to go against Baldoni. They haven't added Sony's name in their lawsuit, which proves they are just focused on ruining someone's career, not in the need of actual justice.
What do you do next? You can't get any of the big guys to publish it. So you start leaking to TikTokers, independent journalists, because you view these people to be stupid, right? So you're like, okay, they'll absorb the risk. They'll definitely publish this if they think that they have an exclusive.
Now let's delve into a few details of all 3 HR complaints. Previously, we have shown you some glimpses of an HR complaint that is believed to be from Isabella. Now, we are going to discuss the HR complaint of Blake Lively, or everyone speculates it to be.
Sony ignored. You said Sony on May 29th, all of us just got raped. We all got raped. And we filed this with Sony, and Sony just didn't do anything about it. But we decided not to sue Sony. We decided to instead go after Justin Baldoni in a CRD complaint and then later a lawsuit. But we decided to leave Sony out of it conveniently, even though they would have been the ones that were holding all of these complaints.
So here's a riveting tale of Blake Lively's complaints. During filming, it starts with her sharing a super shocking encounter with her boss and director, Justin Baldoni, who felt the need to open up about his severe addiction to pornography and past sexual encounters. Now it is obvious that the reason for this conversation is related to their movie, which is based on domestic violence, romance, and sexual scenes. It is natural for the main leads to discuss every aspect of these scenes to make their movie realistic. That's why even though the whole conversation was recorded in the dash camera, Baldoni was unfazed by it. What is shameful in hiding the professional conversation with your actress?
Complainant was in her car with driver, blank, and Mr. Baldoni. He started talking about how he had been severely addicted to pornography and had had sexual encounters where he didn't take no for an answer or did not receive consent when asking for it.
Different raw footage on Bolden's website proved that all the scenes and accusations related to the childbirth scene in this movie are innocent, and nothing evil happened behind scenes.
At a time when complainant was on set, dressed in the gown and ready to film, Baldoni stopped filming to relay to complainant that she should be nude in the scene. She stated it was not written or planned that way.
Raw footage along with other messages on Bolden's website proved this HR complaint is wrong. Nothing like this ever happens. Or if it happened, things don't happen like how Lively is painting.
As complainant disrobed, she asked Mr. Baldoni to turn the monitors off so that her naked butt wouldn't be broadcast to the casting crew. He turned them off, then asked complainant to look at a script note.
After Blake, let's delve into other HR complaints. Oh, by the way, these complaints are a bit interesting as they contain some drama and action to not only the so-called Sabab story.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni interacting as themselves, knowing that this is all on video and that this is going to be used to create this dance scene. And no such moment is shown.
This complaint is believed to be from Jenny Slate, who played the role of Alyssa, and it ends with us. The Jenny Slate incident, where Baldoni allegedly grabbed her buttocks, is brought up as an example of an event that may be controversial but possibly lacks context to determine whether it qualifies as sexual harassment. This incident didn't comply with the legal definition of sexual harassment. In fact, it is more likely an incident where the producer is helping his actress by correcting her posture and trying to keep her calm to sustain the peace on his set.
She states Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her butt and said that he was trying to help her